Welcome to Cigars the Masterclass Pre-Factory. Privada Cigar Club presents. If fermentation is where the soul of a cigar is born, this is where it learns refinement. The raw edges are smoothed, the flavors deepened, and the leaves are sculpted into their final form. It's the quiet work of artisans and time itself turning potential into perfection. What happens here is often overlooked, but it's the key to what makes a great cigar truly unforgettable. Pre-factory. This is a step in the process we often do not hear until we get into the actual art of making cigars. This is where you're visiting the factory and you hear this word come up or this term come up for the first time. It's pre-factory. And what pre-factory means is these are the things that you're doing between the time you took the leaves out of fermentation until, all the way up until, the tobacco is being rolled into cigars in production. So that happens in the factory. This stage is called pre-factory, and this is where we let the tobacco get sorted, aged, and calm. Okay? We're calming that tobacco down. We're preparing it with more age, pulling it out of the fermentation process. So the process begins with. So after filming this episode of Cigars the Masterclass Pre-Factory, we realized that we had a video that shows the exact process and where we followed tobacco through the exact process of pre-factory. So I'm going to watch it with you, and I'm going to narrate it and tell you about each step along the way. Okay, so there's me, 10 pounds heavier, in front of Tabacalera Annex, which is the factory that AJ put together for us in the heart of Esteli, Nicaragua. You just saw the tobacco come out of fermentation, okay? And now we're gonna sort for texture, color, thickness, all that good stuff, right? So it's just a constant separation, color, thickness. Then we're gonna weigh it, right? And so we weigh them a number of times, by the way. There wasn't just one scale, okay? And now we're going to put them in these drying rooms, okay? They call these the ovens. And this is where we're going to manage that humidity of the tobacco that's been fermenting, because if we give it to the roller too wet, the cigar is going to be plugged. If we give it to them too dry, it's going to dry out. So now we wait it again, okay? Now we're storing them, getting ready for the baler. All right. Now, by the way, these guys do back-breaking work all day. It's pretty incredible. So here we go. We're weighing it again for a third time for the bale now that it's had some time to rest after drying. We're putting it in the baler. It's a square machine like that. You have this paca material. It can be fabric. It can be a number of different things, but it's usually this like sort of paca, they call it. Stringy material. It looks plastic, but it's not. It's woven fabric, okay? And they're baling it down. Look at that. It looks like a brownie. Beautiful. Okay, then they're going to sew it up. Another handmade process, another part of the process done only by hand. Look at this young man carrying this. This is, I think, a 100-pound bale. So it's at least 70 pounds. All right, and here's Diomoto. He's in charge of the tobacco aging room. This is going to sit here for a year. There he is. That guy's the man. Awesome guy. Love that dude. So I had to put him in the video. All right, so now here, it's been a year. That thing's been sitting on a shelf. We're going to grab it. We're going to check the tobacco, make sure no rot, no mold, all that good stuff, right? It aged perfectly. By the way, it's temperature controlled in that room. All right, now we're bringing it out to get sorted again and check for quality control. What we're sorting for is our master blender has given us a blend of tobaccos that they want to use for a particular production. And now we're going to sort it out so that we can give the rollers the best quality ingredients separated by the blend. So watch this. We take it back, we weigh it again. Every part of this process is recorded, okay? And it's recorded for a number of reasons so that for future production we can get it absolutely spot on. So we know 1,000 pounds of this makes 1 million, whatever. So, okay, so now we're separating by Viso Seco Ligero fillers. These are going to be in color coordinated bundles that we're going to give to the boncheros, the rollers. And so we know that each bonchero for this project gets 2 red, 1 blue, and 1 green, and that's what's going to make, you see these packs? They're made up for a particular blend. By the way, very few factories are this meticulous to be able to do this on this large of a scale. Now, he's going to take this and distribute it to the boncheros. There they are, sitting there in all their glory. They're going to put together the cigars based on all of this work that has happened up until now. And we're going to pause it there because that's going to get into our next video, which is production. And so look at all the work that went into this. Can you believe it? It took years to get here. My watch took less time to make by hand than this did. It's truly, truly an anomaly. It's something that people aren't talking about. You just cannot stress enough how meticulous this process is when it's done right, how hard it is to do, and just, the documentation that it takes to get this right. And the reason why they're so crazy about the details is because it makes you better. Getting that, it's like a runner, getting that lap time. It helps you beat the lap time the next time. And so it's very important, all of these details. These guys are going to take those blends of tobaccos. They're going to get that pack on their desk, red, green, blue. I know I'm using 2 leaves from the red, 1 leaf from the blue, and 1 leaf from the green. That is my bonchero with this binder that was orange, and boom. First step of pre-factory is post-fermentation aging. Why it matters is because the tobacco continues to evolve after fermentation. Mellowing, it becomes more complex. Aging removes any residual harshness and integrates the flavors. The process is as follows. Leaves are packed into bales and barrels, stored in controlled environments. Aging times vary by producer and leaf type, ranging from months to years. Cedar barrels are often used for wrapper leaves, enhancing the aroma and subtle woody notes. Some interesting facts are some high-end cigars use tobacco aged 5 to 10 years or longer. The aroma of aged tobacco is described as deep and earthy or leathery compared to the sharper notes of freshly fermented leaves. The second part of the process of pre-factory is sorting the leaves. So the purpose of sorting is this ensures that the leaves are categorized for their role, wrapper, binder, filler, or sorting by size, elasticity, and thickness, and visual appearance, color being the big one. Wrapper leaves are inspected for blemishes, color uniformity, and elasticity. Binder leaves are sorted for strength and pliability. Filler leaves are grouped by flavor and combustion properties. Fascinating detail is skilled sorters can classify leaves with just a glance, an art passed down through generations. The third part of the pre-factory process is stripping or de-stemming. What happens during this process is the thick central stem of the leaf is removed to improve pliability and combustion. For filler leaves, only the bottom portion of the stem may be removed to maintain structural integrity. There's manual stripping and there's also machine stripping. The fourth part of the process is moisturizing. The purpose of this is to rehydrate the leaves that may have dried out during the aging process. This is post-aging. This ensures that the leaves are pliable and ready for rolling. The process is as follows. Tobacco is lightly sprayed with water or exposed to a humidified environment. Overhydration is avoided to prevent mold or damage. An interesting fact about this part of the process is different moisture levels are needed for wrappers, binders, and fillers. The fifth part of the process is baling and storage. This is an optional step before rolling. What happens is, after sorting and rehydration, leaves may be pressed into bales for temporary storage. This allows large batches to move efficiently to rolling factories. So this pre-factory stage is very important in the process. It's not one that we're going to spend a terrible amount of time on today. In fact, we're pretty much done with this video, but it is something that most people don't talk about, pre-factory. And now that you know what that is, if you ever do go on a factory tour, you'll be able to see the caliber of factory that you're in by knowing how much time they spend on pre-factory. This has been Cigars, the Masterclass Pre-Factory. Privada Cigar Club presents